Hello, and welcome to our introduction to Systecon North America. Our CTO, Justin Wolf, will guide you through our products and value proposition.
Just a few slides here to provide a little background and help frame the very quick software demo that I'll provide at the end. But here at Systecon, we feel that we are the premier software provider, specifically in this trade space around predictive analytics and sustainment optimization. We're helping defense and aerospace leaders reduce operating costs, improve availability, and make data-driven decisions. With Opus Suite, we've transformed maintenance planning and lifecycle management for major programs across North America, delivering measurable gains in efficiency, readiness, and long-term performance. We really are the Department of War's premier choice because it's not just the software itself, it's the field-proven decision support environment that we provide that enables everyone across the leadership organization and across the Department of War make high-stakes sustainment decisions with confidence. We're balancing readiness and cost better than any other tool or product or capability out there on the market today. At its core is Opus Suite. That is the software that builds this performance versus cost model. And we've got this Venn diagram over here that helps describe the types of data that feed our model. Of course, we need to know information about the technical system itself. Those are the components, the mean time between failure, the scheduled maintenance intervals, any redundancies that might exist inside of that system. The second bucket is our support structure. That may be one or more potential support structures, especially if we're thinking about a level or location of repair analysis. What are our repair strategies? Where do we currently have spares if we've performed a spares optimization in the past? How long does it take to get parts to and from the various echelons inside of our organization? And the last piece, because we're forward looking, we're not driving the car by looking in the rearview mirror. We're thinking about what are we going to do with our systems? When are we going to operate? How many systems do we need to be in operation at any given time? What are the operating environments? A system operating in the Middle East is going to behave differently, perhaps, than a system that's operating CONUS, just as a function of the heat, the sand, etc. So we want to take all of this information into account, build these models, and then provide a host of different types of analytics that we'll go into more in just a moment. Today we have and we're very proud to have such a broad base of users globally. We have 24 different nations' defense departments using the software for predictive logistics and predictive analytics more broadly. And across the U.S. Department of War, we have, of course, a very strong relationship with the Navy and the rest of the components. On the Department of Homeland Security side, we have the Coast Guard as a strong customer as well. All of those governments using the software, of course, drive industry behavior, and the defense industrial base is a strong partner and user of our software. You can see we have all of the major defense OEMs, as well as a number of the tier 2 and tier 3 suppliers as well. We've just got a few of the more than 600 customers globally that we have listed here, just to demonstrate that we have a strong user base and continue to collect annual support payments, which enables us to keep the software at the forefront of technology with annual releases at least 2 times a year to make sure that our customers continue to have the latest and greatest technology at their fingertips. So those 3 overlapping Venn diagrams on that first slide, as I said, help build this Opus Suite model. Once we have that model built, there's a number of different things that we can do with the software. We have some various modules inside of Opus Suite that I'll describe here, but typically when we have a new customer on board, the first thing they want to do is optimize their logistics support solution. To do that, you would use Opus 10, which is the optimization side of Opus Suite. That's going to let you provision the optimal assortment of spare parts, making sure you have the right part in the right place at the right time to support your operations. It's also going to optimize your manpower levels and logistics support solution. Opus 10 has continuously provided increased availability and significant reductions in our operating and support costs for those customers that have implemented the software and compared it to their previous solutions. Once you've optimized something, the next step is then run a whole host of different risk simulations. If you think about the types of data that go into an optimization, you may have a repair turnaround time of 1 year. You may have a customer operating their aircraft for 250 hours per tail per year. Well, if you double the operating time and you double the repair turnaround time, you can expect that you're going to see an availability impact. With Simlocks, you can simulate a number of different scenarios very, very quickly to understand the risk associated with the ground rules and assumptions and various input data that was used for optimization that lets you quantify how resilient your solution is, and then perhaps go back to Opus 10 and think about maybe using different parameters for optimization. Whether you're optimizing, simulating, or some combination of both, you, of course, need to build that detailed cost work breakdown model that enables you to show various senior leaders and various stakeholders the lifecycle costs associated with your program. Catlock allows you to do that very, very quickly. From a more tactical perspective, we've also leveraged Simlocks with Tau, which is a tool produced by 4042 AI to do predictive maintenance and a number of different tactical kinds of simulations to be able to understand that MTBF is interesting, mean time between failure is interesting, but what we're really after is a more comprehensive look at each individual tail's remaining useful life, and help prioritize maintenance as we think about if we have 2 aircraft down and 1 part available, which aircraft has the highest probability of mission success to be able to carry forward. Other parts of Opus Suite that have been more recently released, of course, include Evo, which provides more of that tactical optimization, thinking about day-to-day operations and ensuring mission success as a primary measure of effectiveness. We have Connect, which enables you to seamlessly integrate and ingest information from those systems of record, like your ERP system, like your MRO tool. Maybe you have, some other third-party platform that we need to pull data from. Connect enables you to pull that data very, very quickly and significantly reduce the time typically associated with data ingestion and data processing to enable analysts to spend more time actually being analysts. Pretty excited about Connect and where that's headed. Insights is that business intelligence capability and the results viewer function that provides easy to share dashboards and visualizations, basically enabling you to show the results of Opus Suite without needing to have the person you're sending those results to be an Opus Suite expert. As we think about the future, right, there's a lot of things happening with artificial intelligence, speed of modeling and simulation, and more or less enabling all of our users to deliver more and more capability faster and faster. We're continuing to ensure our tools remain at the forefront of decision support and sustainment optimization. Just some examples here of where we've had great success in the past, whether that be on the F-18 Super Hornet, helping provide data-driven optimization and simulation capability to that program office. We really were the backbone of providing decision support to increase system and fleet availability, reduce downtime, and enhance operational performance. With AMDR, the Advanced Missile Defense Radar, the software was used from the inception of that program to help influence the design. It really and truly was a design for support acquisition with significant cost reductions. The program manager was awarded the NAVSEA Program Manager of the Year, and the program itself received the Stan Arthur Award, specifically for their work using Opus to drive requirements and ensure the sustainment enterprise would be efficient and effective, post milestone C. A lot of the work with AMDR really formed the basis for the U.S. Navy's mandate to use Opus Suite for readiness-based sparing and level of repair analysis. Opus is the tool behind the Navy Common Readiness Model, and Opus Suite is available for use by anyone in the Navy as part of that investment that the Navy has made. Back in the aviation side, of course, the F-35 program has and continues to use the software and has seen great success in improving their spares posture and reducing the amount of money that's spent on spares while simultaneously increasing the resilience of their spares pool and meeting their mission requirements and improving their overall probability of mission success and sortie generation rate. We've seen pretty significant cost savings as part of the PBL program. And again, Opus Suite continues to remain the cornerstone of that enterprise effort with the F-35 program. So just as we think about using Opus Suite and working with the software, you of course have a significant predictive analytics capability here that really enables you to model and simulate the impact of any decision that you might make, whether it be simulating peak loads and endurance scenarios, looking at how you're utilizing resources and systems and parts, conducting risk management, and overall improving the cost control and throughput and mission success rates associated with your various strategies. Things might change in your program, and being able to very quickly understand how different alternatives play out, whether those be engineering change proposals or changes to the logistics enterprise, dimensioning resources, facilities, personnel, and equipment, and setting requirements and contracts is a core capability to the software, really enabling you to answer that what if question, right? And that's a core capability here, kind of again, looking to the future, ensuring that Opus Suite remains at the forefront of your decision support process using a validated, verified piece of software. And then if you're not happy with where you're at, Opus Suite is the solution to influence the current state and ensure that you have all of the necessary parts and people and systems and continue to identify your cost drivers, identify those bottlenecks and weak links so you can make good decisions. Just a quick view of the software here. We're of course very excited to have a web version of the software available in the cloud where the traditional analyst experience is of course still available, but for those that want a web dashboard and a more modern cloud-based way to leverage the software, that's what I've just logged into here. And we can see this cost here on the x-axis, our life support costs versus effectiveness. That's the operational availability there on the y-axis. And for an annual budget, whatever that might be, there are various levels of performance that you may be able to achieve. So I've just selected a point here around 75, 76% in this case, operational availability. And you can see what the annual costs are associated with that. If I wanted to do a quick course of action analysis and say, well, how much will it cost if we reduce our repair cycle times by some percentage, let's say a 5 or 10% reduction in our repair cycle times? Well, we can very quickly run that analysis, and what you can see is that, for about the same operational availability, I could save a little bit of money, or I could spend the same budget and get a slightly higher, in this case, about 5% increase in my overall operational availability. So, you have this very easy way to understand the impact of decisions, be able to dive into the details here, of course, as well. And this, again, is just looking at one very fast, very quick scenario focused on repair cycle times. But, there's a whole host of different types of analyses that we can run. You may also want to understand how does that, if we go back and just look at this 75% point here for a moment, what is the mission success rate associated with that A sub O? Well, we can just run some very fast simulations here and look at, the system states over time and our mission time accomplished. So I'll just pull a few of these in here. And what we can see is, how our availability varies over time and how, as we make good decisions, we see that increase as we get those parts in associated with that optimization state. And again, you can see that while we may be in a bad place today, as we improve our overall A sub O, we're going to see a reduction in that non-mission capable for supply time. So again, simulation is giving us that time dimension, allowing us to understand the relationship between A sub O and mission success rates, and provide a total ownership cost perspective where we can see, how are we spending budget? How are those dollars allocated across different functions and ensure that we can, of course, meet both our cost and our readiness objectives. It's been a pleasure to take just a few minutes to talk with you today. If you have any further questions on Opus Suite and would like more information or perhaps brainstorm on how Opus could be used inside of your organization to provide better outcomes and logistics support optimization, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is shown here and happy to talk more with you and look forward to diving into your particular use case. Thanks so much.